Hello, my Stampin' friends. Today I want to share this little card from the Stampin' Up catalog. This is from the mini catalog and September to December. I thought it was so pretty and I decided to make a similar one. It's almost exactly the same, although we can't see what the inside looks like. So I'll show you what I did on the inside and how this little card comes together. It uses some really pretty new items. Well, not super new, I guess from September. So it's already November. Can you believe that? So it uses these wonderful label dies, which I've been getting a lot of use out of. You can tell they no longer stick to the little package here. These are called traditional labels, and there's a stamp set that goes with this one that has a lot of nice little builder sentiments. So you can do, Happy Christmas or Merry Christmas, sending love and joy. You can do merry and bright, sending wishes, all kinds of different things. Put it together however you like. So this is a really nice one, or you can make to from tags with the labels. I like how some of these that are kind of, see how they're curved slightly, and those fit inside this nice curved banner as well. So those are really nice. That's a good core bundle to get. And then this one is called Christmas Greenery. And I like that it's not super Christmassy, because see how this is a really pretty bouquet that you can use all year round. And this one has poinsettia in it, but you can use it all the time too, but it's not so screaming Christmas. But it is perfect with this little pine, and I love the poinsettia, but we're not even going to use it. We are, but you're not going to see it very much. So let me show you how I put the card together. I don't know if it's exactly how they put the card together, and I'm going to do a few little things differently than they did, but I think it's quite lovely. Here is my version. It's almost the same. The only thing different is I used some really fun glittery dots, and I don't think my background is exactly the same either, but pretty close. And then I did an inside that I want to show you. So let's put this one together. Now we made this at Stamp Camp, which means that I pre-cut a lot of things. So I've got some stuff already done here, and I will show you about those. I cut out some of the greenery from the Christmas Greenery dies, and I love this giant pine piece here. Love that. And then you've got some other just kind of all the time greenery. It's not really Christmassy specific or winter specific. And then holly, which was cut in Secret Sea. And I really love that. And then this is glimmer paper. And this is available in a pack that has 3 different colors. They're all blues, and it's Secret Sea and like cloud cover. And what blue are they calling that one? I don't think that they're telling us exactly. They're not really saying. So they're not committing to these colors. So they're not saying that this is Secret Sea, but it sure is, isn't it? And this would be great with many, many blues. This could work nicely with navy too. And they're not calling this cloud cover, but it really does look like cloud cover. But it would really be nice with some grays, or even could read green if you put it with some greens, I bet. So anyway, it's a really nice pack. All right, so then I also cut out some of these little hollies, a lot of little pieces here, and I cut out this bow. Now I love this bow, and it was on the catalog piece. I want to show you the die for it. So here's all the greenery. So this is called Christmas Greenery, and you've got 2 hollies and some really nice pieces, and then you've also got these 2 dies that cut out the images from that stamp set. But the holly comes 3 on 1 die, and I love that. And then this one I really like. So it's a bow builder, and it's 1 die, but it's 3 pieces, and that really does give it a nice dimension, doesn't it? You can kind of see the dimension in that bow, whereas if it was just all 1, you wouldn't get that. And I glued them together already because I didn't want to lose this little piece, because I knew that I would. So I already have these glued together, and I just set them on a silicone mat, and I just put a little drop of my liquid glue, and then I just layered them and let them sit for a little bit, and now they're nice and done. So I love that. Okay, also my first one that I made here uses this really nice plaid, which is on the back of a suite of really beautiful paper with this gold, and it's part of the Christmas Greenery and the Traditions of Christmas collection, but I ran out of this, so I had to switch to this little stripe, which is a little different. It's from the same collection, but it doesn't have that plaid. Okay, so let's put this together. And then here, this is my inside. I wanted to have something on the inside where you can write, and I just thought it's nice to have a little extra on the inside instead of just the plain white. All right, here's our label. Okay, let me show you how to put this together. I'm starting with this giant stamp, and this is this kind of floral image here. And this is just going to be a background, and it's on our basic white thick cardstock, and we're going to put it in Pool Party. And I'm going to go like across, and I'm going to stamp up here like so, and I'm going to do it again down here. But it's going to be a mess in the middle, and that's okay because we're going to cover that up. So you don't have to do any kind of covering or masking. You're just going to go ahead and stamp again, not worrying about that mess. So see how the middle is just a disaster? Don't worry about it. We're going to cover that up. Okay, next we're going to put down our little strip here. So let me fold this. All right, so this strip is 1.5 inches by 4 1/4. I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. Woo! Saw that coming, didn't you? All right, I'm going to just kind of scrape some of this off. There we go. All right, so I'm going to put this down, not quite in the middle, and then there's a little bit of glue oozing out the top. I'm not going to worry about it because I actually need some glue up there. Okay, so we're going to add our greenery pieces. I'm going to put this one, and actually I'm going to cut this off just because it's going to hang out all by its little self. If it was still part of the image and I had some more besides just that part sticking past, I would leave it, but really that is the only part that's going to show, so it's not really adding anything pretty. Okay, so I'm going to go across like this, and you could also build these pieces underneath this banner. You really can't tell if they did it under or above this piece of designer paper, so I just didn't worry about it. I'm just putting it down. And then I'm going to add this gold foil pine bough, which I love. And that one I'm going to let stick below because you can see more than just that little tiny bit. Okay, now I like to, as I do these types of things, just throw a block on top. Okay, now I'm going to wait on the holly because I'm going to stick it underneath my label. So I'm going to leave that alone. So let's set this aside and do our stamping on our label. So I'm going to do Merry Christmas Wishes, and I set this up on the block, and I'll show you how I did that. I love that they have these little things that you can build, and sometimes you can put them all at one time on a block, and this one I couldn't quite because the Christmas one comes really close to the, you know how the words have like a little bit around them, and so they just hit, and I didn't want it to cause a problem with stamping, but I laid it on my label exactly where I wanted it to be, kind of making sure that I've centered the middle letter. So on the Merry it's the R, and on the Wishes it's between the S and the H, and I kind of centered them on this point, and then I just picked them up at the same time, and that way I've got them centered exactly where I want them. And I'm going to stamp these in Secret C. Alright, so I'm going to go right, trying to remember to put that R on the point of the label. There, perfect. Okay, and then I'm going to go with a different color. I'm going to bring in this old olive for the Christmas. And look how easy that was to line up with the clear photopolymer. Okay, so now I've got my label done. I'm going to stick this up with dimensionals, and then we can tuck our holly. So I know I'm going to want my holly coming off the corners, so I'm going to intentionally not put these little puffies, little dimensionals in the corners so that I have some space to tuck. All right, this is going to go right in the middle. Okay, and then we're going to do those holly. So I'm going to put one sparkly and one solid Secret Sea holly on top and bottom. Oh, I need a new glue. I'm going to get a new one before this one comes out at me. Okay, here we go. Adding a little bit of the glue, and I'm just going to tuck it under like that. And then let's do a glimmery one. And I'm going to do the same on the bottom. So that floral in the background just kind of gives it a nice little textured background just by adding that little stamp. Just getting a little hint of it from behind. All right, so I'm just tucking that in and leaving that. And then I've got this really pretty bow that's going to go right here in the corner. Okay, I'm going to set that aside and work on the inside. So I've got, now there is a really nice stamp set, and I think I'll go ahead and show it to you, but I might not use it. It's called Words for the Season. And so this is filled with things that you can put inside. And I like that because, you know, sometimes it's hard to come up with what you want to write on the inside. So you've got a to you and yours, some sentiment about the magic of Christmas. This one will be great for Thanksgiving. So incredibly grateful for all the blessings, especially you. May your holiday season be filled with joy and happiness. So you've always got all these great little sentiments for the fall season. You've even got a Halloween. So I love this stamp set. This one is good for a New Year's. Let's toast to yesterday's achievements and tomorrow's bright futures. But this would be a really good one for someone who's graduating, or who maybe got a promotion at work or starting out a new career. So this is a really great one too. This is a really nice stamp set, so I wanted to make sure to show it to you. I'm going to leave mine blank because I'm not exactly sure who I'm sending this one to. I make a lot of Christmas cards, and I like to kind of keep my options open for the inside, and then as I'm writing up my envelopes, then I can figure out what I want to do on the inside. So for today, it's going to stay blank. So I'm just giving it a nice little red border so that the inside is not quite so plain. This also helps make the writing surface smaller in case I maybe don't know exactly what I want to write, or there's just too much to write. Now this little strip of gold foil, oddly enough, is from a card kit, and this was like the leftover scrap, but I saved it because it's just the perfect little gold accent. So I intentionally cut this size to meet this little piece of gold. Isn't that funny? So I saved those little gold strips. I think it was a paper pumpkin kit or some kind of kit that had gold accents. Oh, I'm going to put this inside inside first, so I know I'm not going across. I almost put the holly down, which sticks out past, but I didn't want it to go past that center score line, so I decided I better glue it down first. So let's do that, and then I will put my holly down. So I was just afraid that it would go too far over. So I've got some holly in Secret Sea, and Secret Sea is not a traditional holly color, but it just really, I think, elevates the card. It's like a little non-traditional, and it just looks very put together with the front of the card. So I really like it. So I'm adding some little dots of glue here, and I'm going to add the holly. My fingers are gluey. Where is my take your pick tool? Here it is. Okay, so let's use that. That just makes life easier. Sometimes I forget to grab it, and let's go over that little point. There, so there's my inside. Here's my outside. And that is a lovely Christmas card. The only thing I need now are these little glittery gems, which are unfortunately on back order just for one more week. So keep looking for these. There's a button on the online store now that says notify me when my item is back in stock. So you can say that when you click on this, you can say notify me when this is back in stock. And that is a good little feature. I'm glad they added that. So I'm adding just 3, one of each size. There's 3 sizes. And I'm gonna do like so. And there you have it. There is the Christmas card from the catalog. So I hope that you like it. Always look through the catalog. There's some really pretty ones, and you can kind of, once you do them and you make them on your own too, they're just even that much more beautiful than they are in the catalog. And then you get to make up the inside yourself. So that's what I decided to do with the inside. I hope you like it. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.